Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Darwin's Journey here on Board Game Arena, where last episode we spent pretty much all of our time and energy focused on this part of the game, our board. How do we interact with the mechanics? It turns out the answer is poorly, but we're hoping that's going to improve over time. This episode, we're going to spend a lot more time looking at this bit and how does our opponent interact with the mechanics, what's important to him, and how can we throw salt into his terrifying mechanical mind. So a couple of things to understand about Alfred right off the bat. Obviously, because Alfred is, basically just like drawing actions from a deck of action cards, you can't necessarily say that he has strategy, but his behaviors will tend towards certain patterns. Certain things are much less important to him than they are to us, and it's critical that we understand that stuff if we want to actually counter-strategize. So, on Alfred's turn, he's going to draw the top card off this deck, flip it over, and try to perform the actions listed on it. It generally will have 3 different things listed. He'll try to perform the first one. If there's no legal way to do that, he'll try to perform the second. And if there's no legal way to do that, he'll perform the third action, which is a thing that I believe he can always do. To demystify his player board a little bit over here, a thing we're going to see a lot is this little right-facing arrow with a number on it. At the top of his board, he has this worker track. Every time he gets arrow with a number on it, he moves the worker to the right that many spaces. When the worker reaches this space here, he receives the reward depicted above it. When the worker reaches this 10th space over here, he receives the reward depicted above it, and also 6 points, and he resets the worker back to the beginning of the track. So the worker is just going to cross the top of his board over and over again, earning rewards. We can see that the rewards that he earns changes over the rewards change over the course of the game. These are cards with sets of rewards on them that get dealt out, so they'll be different from game to game. For our purposes right now, we need to know that as he progresses through the round, he's likely to play some stamps and move his boat forward a lot, in addition to the actions that he's actually taking from his cards. Okay. The way that he places his workers onto the diaries is a little bit more complicated, and we'll talk about that once he's actually played a card so we can use it as an example. But another thing to point out here, it's important for knowing how to strategize, like how to affect his focus, is that Alfred doesn't actually care about these end of round goals. At the end of each round, instead, he just receives, as you can see here, and please ignore the tooltip text that pops up as we mouse over his stuff. You can see the tooltips are for the player side of the boards, not the AI side of the board. They're just mapped to particular regions, and so they don't match up with what we're mousing over here. Yeah, instead of these goals at the end of the round, he just gets 4 points times the round number, and I think reduced appropriately by these values here if his ship is behind the Beagle. Although it looks like this time it might not be. So without further ado, I think let's take our initial setup stuff so that Alfred can take his first turn and we can have a look at how his cards work. So we have an interesting setup here. This is okay. Just place the top 10 from your board onto any 10th location anywhere. That's pretty rad. This is catch up with the Beagle. And then the rest of these are pretty straightforward. Research any one specimen, take an objective, and immediately complete an objective without having to fulfill it. That's pretty cool. I note here we do not have a red seal to start with, so that's kind of interesting. Also, none of these crew require 4 seals of any one color, which is kind of nice, because that 4th seal feels a little bit like a waste, given that there's no way for an action to ever ask for 4 seals. I guess while we're looking at randomized factors, we should look over here at the special actions book. These are dealt out randomly every game. So we have move forward 3 book spaces, place a lens without paying the costs, which is pretty rad. Double blue, double red. Do any of our crew require? No, but we have one that's pretty close. That feels like a really powerful action to me, so it feels like we'd want to try to bend a worker in that direction if we can. This is also, yeah, just place a tent onto any empty tent location. So in some ways, we have a little bit of a reduction in the importance of moving workers along the islands. If we could just hit the high value tent spots without having to do all that walking, that's kind of interesting. And here we can sell one of our temporary knowledge tokens for 7 coins or 7 victory points. That seems fine. Correspondence envelopes for this game are money, movement. The first space here is take a step and move your boat once. This is take a step or move your boat once, and then boat movement. So actually, there's a lot of boat movement potentially this game. That's interesting. In terms of goals, points for green seals, then points for blue seals, then points for flowers. How easy is it to get some flowers? There's one on the first island. There's one like pretty deep on the second island. And that's it. The other 2 flowers are in the museum already. Okay, that's interesting. So, I don't know that I think... this one's kind of an interesting crewman in general, because the way he incentivizes you to take a lot of blue seals makes it feel like you're going to want to be playing the blue action anyway because it's efficient for you. And if that's the case, then your ship's probably not all that far behind the Beagle anyway. I guess one thing that's kind of interesting about this is the icon shows move forward, but the text here doesn't say move forward. So I wonder if you could use this to move your ship backward? Like get ahead of the Beagle, hit some valuable space, and then jump backwards so you can hit that space again? Or like take both of the tent spots here or something like that. That might be an interesting application. Without having access to any red seals to start with, blue seals are definitely high value for the special actions. I guess I'm going to take this guy because I do want to start with a blue seal. And then the question is like, how many... Gosh. Research any one specimen is pretty handy. That's the thing you'd like to be able to do at the end of the game when there's like very little room left in the museum. Just grab whatever has been missed. But also the objective guy is cool. Yeah, maybe we take like objective guy and then gaining 2 temporary knowledge tokens is interesting, but it's I think a little bit less exciting by the time you have so many seals that you're completing your crew cards, right? Because your workers are going to be so much more built up at that point. I think I'm going to do this. We want to have green and blue seals early in the game. Do I maybe just want to take both of the green workers? That's kind of compelling. Correspondence actions, I think, are quite strong in this game, though, and having somebody who's going to be good at that also feels... I'm going to stick with this idea. So let's take these 3. That might have been the wrong decision. We'll find out, I guess. And some early starting objectives. So have a reptile and empty one of your stamp stacks. Have caught up with or overtaken the Beagle and have 2 red seals. I mean, it's going to be pretty easy for us to get a second blue seal for this gold objective. And then, as we were noting before, flowers are a little hard to come by. So this top silver objective I don't care for. Reptiles are like real easy, right? Yeah, there's reptiles everywhere. Maybe we do take this. I gotta be honest, I care about the gold objective a little bit more than I care about the silver, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna take this. Because I want to be able to complete our gold objective early and, like, get access to... Okay, you're placing stamps before I can, you monster. And get access to, like, the space that lowers the placement penalty for playing unoccupied diaries, or maybe, should we be so lucky, the fifth worker or something like that. It'd be really nice to get that fifth worker this game. Let's try. So Alfred took his turn. Okay, first up, Alfred shows us a card that only has 2 actions on it. So this first one is play a worker into the main diaries area. And it has the workers listed in priority order. So he tries to place the worker in slot B first. They're all lettered, but in addition to that, they all have a different number of, like, little curved lines next to them. So he looks at the seals that worker has and tries to place in a location where at least one of those seals matches the location. And then it's like he has a complicated priority list of, like, he wants to play on the lowest unlocked space that he has at least one seal for. And Alfred's rules for prioritizing are a little ticky-tacky and annoying, and this is a thing where I'm really glad that we have a rules engine to handle them for us, a pre-programmed thing. But yeah, one concept that I really want to make sure that we are clear on, because it's going to be important, is he will only consider spaces where his worker has at least one seal that matches what's going on the space, but he is also able to buy temporary knowledge tokens infinitely at a cost of 3 coins each. So, like, if the 3 seal space is open and his worker only has one of the appropriately colored seal, he can still just play that space by paying 6 coins. And anytime he would receive temporary knowledge tokens, he instead gets 3 coins. So he's just making that conversion back and forth whenever he wants to. So that's the thing to consider. In terms of the special diary, when he draws a card that has the particular play on the special diary's action, I believe he just ignores the seals. And he doesn't actually perform the actions either. But mostly he's going to be doing stuff on these books up here, so this is what we have to care about. Okay. I kind of want to get to a tent quickly, right? What is our first objective is green seals. So I would love to unlock a better green seal action and then actually play it, potentially. I'm a little bummed out that he took the book that has the gain seals action in it. I'm not sure exactly what my plan for dealing with that is. It is a real bummer, honestly. But maybe for right now, what we do is we just, like, play here, drop a seal on this book, and then move our worker 2, 3. I mean, we might just stop on the specimen, right? Because early specimen delivery is a pretty decent way to get money. Especially blue. So blue reptile is in a spot where it's showing 4 coins in its rows and columns, and we get a 5th coin there. I actually think I like that quite a bit. Let's take a worker. So who's it going to be is the question. We don't want it to be the green guy because we're probably going to play the green. We're probably going to actually use the green guy. Maybe yellow? I'm a lot less incentivized to play my yellow worker for yellow action now, so yeah, let's drop a lens right there. And then we will just move our explorer actually only 2 spaces because I do want this. And then we can get to this campsite and drop some stamps anyway with just a single other green action. I think that's an okay start. Okay, then he plays on our green action. What a monster. So, most of the actions Alfred takes pretty much the same way we take them. But, so just to clarify what happened here, Alfred was instructed to take the play a lens action, but if we look at the rules here real quick, you can get a sense of what I was saying here as we look through this section of the book about all the weird little like exceptions and stuff. Alfred only sends a worker to perform an unlock action if there are no other workers on the small diary. So okay, so he sees that he can't do that. He goes to the next thing. All right, worker A tries to take an action. Well, worker A only has green seals, so worker A would prefer to take green actions. And there's a green action available. He takes the most powerful one. Fortunately, that earns us a coin right away. That's rad. And he moves 3 spaces. Here's the frustrating thing about Alfred. Alfred gets the rewards on every space that he moves over, not just the one he stops on. Alfred's move action is just massively, massively superior to our own. Now, I was kind of hoping that we might get to take a green action ourselves, pick up a second specimen before doing this. But I think at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and drop somebody on the deliver specimen action, because it is right now 5 coins and 2 books. And I don't think we have another action that comes even close to matching that value. The only book that hasn't been played on is this book down here, which we don't have any matches for anyway. We could spend our temporary knowledge token to play this move your book forward 3 actions space, and that's, compared to the value of the delivery, absolutely fucking terrible. So let's go ahead and play like our blue guy maybe, because I think we're still kind of incentivized to make this green thing happen. But if we're playing a green space, it is going to be the 1 seal. So yeah, we wouldn't really need to save the green guy because we could just play with the purple guy. I guess let's use the green guy to go and deliver a specimen to the museum. It's a little inefficient because obviously you would love to double deliver, but that's a pretty powerful action, all things considered. Okay. So, we can see there, Alfred puts a worker on the special book. He gets nothing out of doing so. It's just worker goes down on the space, and then he gets 4 moves on his little arrow track, which took him past his first reward space, so he got a stamp. And the way Alfred plays on the correspondence envelopes, he prefers to play in a spot where the stamp would steal majority from the human, and if he doesn't have one of those, then he prefers to play in a spot where he doesn't have any stamps yet. And if there's none of those, then I don't remember exactly what the rules are from there, but that's the basics. Okay, so we have 2 workers left. We have a little bit of money to play with here. We can actually go ahead and just, we could play red action to grab a green seal for points reasons. And then this guy, we probably do just move the boat forward. And having an extra blue seal isn't actually going to help us with that at all, so I think that makes sense. Here's a question. Who are we putting this green seal onto? Does it make sense to go double green? Yeah, probably. We're probably just trying to build this guy. But we could, just open people's effectiveness up. But since there's a double green action on the board, we should probably get to double green. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this. We will place our green seal in the place where it does not cost us any money to put it down. Okay, that doesn't change anything for us. We could spend, I suppose, if it really makes sense to go somewhere else, we could go somewhere else, right? We could spend a temporary knowledge token to play in one of the other books. I could just grab another, I guess, yeah, one thing we could do is we could just play red again and go double blue on this dude, which is partially a setup for the scoring objective next turn. If we play our boat action, we can run forward and grab this specimen, or we could just run in front of the blue boat, or in front of the beagle. We gain a point for catching up. Effectively, it'll add a point to our end of round scoring. We could play the green action and move our worker forward to the blue bird. We can't stop on, remember, we treat the space that his worker is in as though it's not even there. So we can move forward to here, or we could move forward to there. I think those are both fine. We could just play yellow action, get 2 stamps down on, like, generate money, and take 4 coins for next turn. That's probably better. I think I like that better. So I wish I'd had the foresight to leave my yellow worker open. I was like, yeah, we're disincentivized from playing yellow action this turn, right? But by the end of the round, there's going to be people everywhere. Like, every book is going to be expensive. And if I was really thinking ahead, like, making sure we are getting this money is important. I'm looking at, like, the value of placing stamps on the other stuff. If we place here so that we get move the boat forward, move your feet, then we get our token back, and we gain a point by catching up with the beagle, but yeah, it's not money. I think I just want the income. And also to deplete half a stack of stamps, of course. This would cost us... I mean, if I'm just talking about generating money, though, is it better to play 2 stamps here, paying 3 coins to gain 4 coins and cut half a stack of stamps? Or is it better to, like, play objective actions? Or to get the blue seal in preparation for clearing this. Sorry, I don't mean to be so indecisive here. It's just, it's tough. It's tough to know what to do. So have 3 temporary knowledge tokens. That really sucks. 2 blue wax seals and a red specimen. There's actually only 1 red specimen out. Yeah, 3 of them are in the bank already. That's wild. So that's not super fun to achieve either. Yeah, I'd be a lot more into this as an action if these objectives were any good. So as it is, I think I'm going to do this. We have to remember that it actually secures us a little bit more money than it looks like, because putting down 2 stamps means we're going to have 2 stamps here this turn and then 1 stamp next turn. And at the very least, we're getting paid again, right? At the very least, we're getting paid 2 coins again from this action. Okay, so we get the full 4 coins, as does Alfred. Alfred moves an explorer and his ship, and then moves his ship a bunch more. Very annoying stuff. We did well with the beagle, though. You can see there he just got 4 points times the round number. Okay, new objectives. Okay, those are interesting. All right, Alfred's bonuses change. And Alfred is doing specimen delivery. Okay. So Alfred's about to gain a bunch of seals, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, that was a really good delivery action. It was very powerful. So our pal Alfred's at 12 coins. Alfred does not gain and lose, individual coins. Really, he keeps track of his money on this little chart. If he has at least 12 coins, whenever he would gain a coin, he instead goes forward on the path at the top of his board. So, first of all, he's rich, and secondly, he's about to be making just like a lot of extra movement up here, which means a lot of extra book steps. I don't like that. I don't care for that. That seems very problematic to me. I feel like we're in a lot of trouble. I think I'm going to... Let's see. Part of me wants to place a lens, but if we do that, we are dead broke. The actual brokest. If we were instead... See, he didn't play on a book, and so my feeling is that we should play on one of the 4 main diaries. We want to get in here while he is still not able to do so. But if we don't place a lens, he totally might just place a lens. I don't know that I can afford to, though. If I were going to just play a book, what book would it be? We could just play stamps. Drop 2 stamps like here, maybe? On the green and blue action envelope. And doing so would let us also take a wax seal at -2 points, or -2 value. It does, I suppose, incentivize him to take the green action. Well, no, he has 1,000,000 coins. It doesn't matter. He'll play in books where we have people. It doesn't actually affect him. But he is, because he played his D worker first. Because he played his D worker for the delivery action, he is more likely to... any card that doesn't have B above both A and C is going to play in the leftmost book. So that's a good reason for us to play in the leftmost book, just to benefit from the book itself. It's also a good reason for us to play there as a way of making him spend money, right? So if we take our double green guy and we play the double green action, we could step to 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. We could gain 2 coins, or we could gain 2 points and an objective. This is 2 reptile specimens and 9 points on the book track, which we are not close to. This is 15. These are not... I don't like these objectives very much at all. Oh, I guess one thing is he moved off of this space. We could just play... take 2 steps, right? Even if we use the green guy on the lens action. And I'm not sure whether or not I would like to, because as much as I don't want him taking the extra step, I do want the coin. Okay, I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to take our green guy. We are going to place this, because I think it's more important to deny him the extra step. But we're only going to step twice. We're going to drop a tent here, because that lets us get a tent down, and it still lets us do the stamp thing. And now the question is, do we try to secure a lead on 4 coins, or do I try to get in on this? I think I'm going to try to get in on this, because like I said, his stamp placement prioritization will be on trying to take our majorities away. So the next time he plays stamps, he'll want to play them on the middle one, not the top one. I believe, if I'm remembering that correctly. That seems important. All right, taking a blue stamp right now is worth points, a blue seal. But it is only 4 points, and we have to ask ourselves, do we think that's better than getting a worker out to a greater level of power? Like, would I rather expand this bottom worker toward having 4 seals? I think what I'm actually going to do maybe is put a red seal on the blue guy, forsake the points, and hope to take the blue action and also get a blue seal onto him. Because I'm thinking ahead about being able to play this action, right? And I'm also thinking about in the future being able to access this action without needing temporary knowledge tokens, especially since I burned the one that we had. Although I guess we always have purple guy for that. I probably should take a blue. I probably should just take a blue one. And this guy can go get us a red next or whatever. Yeah, let's just do this. Okay, so that accomplishes us an objective at a moment where we have 3 coins. So we can't unlock our worker, but we could put it here and generate a purple seal onto one of these 2 workers. We get to do it without paying the cost, so we wouldn't have to pay the 1 coin. But at this point in the game, while we're still pretty desperate for money, I'm kind of thinking the placement penalty space, right? Just lower the cost for this and make my life a lot easier for the entire rest of the game. Okay, he takes the lens action. That's a way of getting around the books. And I guess, you know what? I wasn't really thinking. Both of those spaces would be considered breaking our majority, so he does the top one, the topmost one first. Yeah, I didn't stop to actually read his stuff. Okay, but that's really interesting because it means that he hasn't played up here, so we can take the red action without having to pay any coins for it and get ourselves some more seals, which I think we really need to do. So unfortunately, he just took all the red seals. He got this reward, and he took both of the red seals. And in fact, that was 100% of the red seals that were available. I really want to build toward this, but now we can't anymore. So if we're grabbing a blue or a green, we could grab a yellow for 2 coins, I guess, and double out this worker and maybe end up taking this action, actually. You know, I don't hate that. Which workers does he have left on his board? He has yellow and green/red. So there's like a 50-50 shot he's going to take this action next. And if he does, he'll play on his lens. But I sure would love to get to place 3 stamps here and match up with him, you know? The other thing we could do... No, never mind. I was going to say the other thing we could do is like put a yellow seal on, or put a blue seal onto the yellow worker in order to open up this action. But this action's not actually good, I don't think. I ever want to be doing that. So we can only yellow or blue right now. I have no temporary tokens. I guess that really does narrow things for us, doesn't it? I gotta remember, like, what actually are my actions? Or we could do one of the ones where we go and get stuff. we're going to be not super far off of 15 victory points. So grabbing an objective with somebody after this end of rounds are scored. So grabbing an objective with somebody doesn't necessarily sound terrible. We are not good on book points, but this would be a second reptile. So if we just move our boat forward 2 spaces, we can get that. So we can take this objective with 1 action and then boat forward 2 spaces with the other action and get half of it done already. And then just like whenever we make a delivery or whatever, we'll make the rest of the 9 book spaces up. I would really love to get the reason I'm really pulling for that gold objective is I would really like to unlock the worker. And a good book delivery, a good specimen delivery might earn us the money for the worker on the action that moves the book token forward. So actually that seems fairly doable. And in that case, it's not contentious at all which of these we do, right? So I would go get the objective first so that we can't lose it. And then the question is what would we I'm sorry, I'm like so far thinking ahead right now. The question is which worker would we use for that, and thus what seal we place here is kind of irrelevant, actually. It probably doesn't affect the action we're taking this turn, now that we've thought this far forward. I guess give me the yellow one, then, if that's how we're thinking about it. Because we'll place... Yeah. This will just affect the... I mean, I could be getting more points doing this the other way. I'm going to take the yellow one, and we're going to hope that it doesn't end up hurting too much in the long run. I think this makes sense. All right, so Alfred... Okay, Alfred takes the yellow action. We sort of like hedged against it in the end. I don't think it ended up mattering too much. So is it get that objective tile and then move the boat forward 2 spaces? Or is it get the objective tile and then place stamps? Knowing that I can only place 2 stamps and thus I cannot... I can't get us back to a majority on this. If I put the stamps here, then we could take 3 boat movement, right? Because he can't play any more stamps this turn. He's all reds and greens. We could take 3 points of boat movement, catch up with the beagle, and thus gain ourselves 3 points effectively. All right, it doesn't feel like it makes sense. Even if we want the boat movement, we want to use the yellow worker to get the boat movement, right? So it's the blue worker who goes and gets us the objective. We're taking the gold. Just tucking it in there for now. Sorry, I have a tendency to sort of like wander off a little bit. Okay, that was not a big deal. He just moved forward, got some book track. His book track is positioning. It's going to be really good, and there's not a lot we can do about that. And then you are going to spend 2 of our coins to place stamps. And I wish we could place 3, but we can't. Do we want... I think we probably want to prioritize moving the green move when we can, because we are going to hit this at some point. Well, maybe we're going to hit that at some point. I think it makes sense for them to come from here, though. So the question is, do we... I think I'm just going to take this. It feels like gaining 2 boat moves is more significant than gaining... Yeah, I mean, effectively, right, it would just be gaining 1 boat move by taking the objective, or by taking a tie for majority on that one. Okay, so Alfred gets money. We also get money. Less, though. So Alfred moves up and discards an objective. And unfortunately gets wax seals. And moves his ship. And gets money. And Jesus, it's just so much. It's so many things every time he does anything. Okay, so we're going to get to move our ship 2 spaces in a second here. If we take the 1 space move now, we will gain 2 points when we move forward. We'll gain 3 points in total over the movements. Or we could take this as a step forward onto 2 coins, take 2 ship moves to here, and effectively we gain 2 coins but lose 2 points. I think at this point in the game, the coins have got to be more valuable, right? And he already delivered that bird. Yeah. So it doesn't make sense to go to the bird. The only reason you would go to the bird is to then eventually end up on this tent, and I think I'd rather just head down this way. Okay. And then, hooray, ship forward. I don't think it makes sense to go get the... well, hold on. Shoot. That's right. I took the thing that wants us to have 2 reptiles. And the other reptiles on the 3rd island. Yeah, no. We do want to actually sample this reptile. Glad I remembered. Okay, and we get some boat movement for free next turn, too. Not quite keeping up, but, you know, we're doing okay. All right, so a thing to note is that, first of all, Alfred's goals have become very annoying. Just gain a ton of points and also walk 3 steps. That shit sucks. That's bad news, huh? We get a flower if we move in this situation. Is what I was about to point out, and the round objective does give points for flowers. Although it is worth noting we are very behind the ship right now, and so we're maybe not getting a huge number of points from stuff like this. But picking up that flower would also be, you know, that's the first step in making a pretty good delivery, I think. So I probably want to do that first, right? It's quite likely that he will want to play on that left book, I think. So, yeah, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it now. And I only actually want to move 1 space. So it doesn't need to be... What's the difference between 2 and 3 spaces for you? You're going to do this, move your book forward. You're going to get that specimen as well. And then you're going to land here if you get an extra space. Which is just a book. And we would get a coin from it, from allowing him to take this action. I'm honestly not sure I like it. I don't know that I want to let him do that. Just like slowing him down feels important. I'm going to say it's not worth the coin. I'm going to take this myself, even though we're only going to use 1 step. Is that just like cantankerousness? Yeah, maybe. I'm not going to tell you that's impossible. Well, okay, so I guess the one argument to not do that would be that if we use our purple worker on the 2-step space to only take one step here, then we could use our double green worker to take 3 steps with our next action and get a really good delivery set up. But that's only true if he doesn't take that action. How does he prioritize? Let's look at the rules really quickly here. At this point, he has so many seals. So he tries to place on the strongest location possible based on, yeah, seals and lenses and whatnot. Bottom most unlocked empty worker placement location for which he has at least one seal matching the placement's requirements. So right now, dude has 2 workers that have at least 1 green seal. Of the 3 that might end up being the top priority pulls. And he will. Alfred's worker location goes to the location which requires they spend less coins for temporary knowledge. And then prefers the location associated with the worker's leftmost seal. So this guy really would take that action no matter what. If he pulled A, it would be no matter what. If C was his most important worker, because the blue action doesn't have a lens on that line, the worker C, I think, would also prefer this location. So there's a very high likelihood that if we don't do this, he will. So it's very unlikely I would get to make that double play in any case. So I'm just not going to leave it open for him. And indeed, he drew worker A. So he's gotten to move all those spaces anyway, because, you know, it turns out we can't stop him because move 3 spaces is on his frequent actions track for this round. That's pretty rough, y'all. Okay. If we just hit the delivery button now, because he now has that same specimen and he could deliver on it at any moment, we would earn 3 coins, right? 1, 2, and 3, plus 4 spaces up the book track, which gets us to 6 with 8 coins in hand. That doesn't quite accomplish our objective. It does mean we have a fair amount of money. It would immediately accomplish this objective because we would actually have 8 coins, and we do have that flower specimen we just picked up. So that's pretty rad. And that would allow us to like fire that tent space immediately. Oh. Actually, it would allow us to research a specimen on this island. We could grab this. Okay, hold on. If I understand how this game works, and there's no guaranteeing that I do, I think that we will get to do a double delivery that will get us to where we're going with enough money. Hold on. Okay, let's try this. So, which worker am I using for this action is the question now. It's probably the double blue guy, right? It's very unlikely that we're going to want to do anything that requires double blue this action, or this turn. So, we do this. We take the first delivery, put down our yellow flower. That gets us all the money and all the books. Lets us accomplish this objective, which we place here, letting us research this specimen. And now, that was all part of placing that first one. So now, with an undelivered specimen, we can pay 3 coins to put this down, immediately recouping 2 of those coins, and also gaining 5 more book spaces. And that pushes us over the line on this objective while we are holding 7 coins. We can go get 3 points and the 5th worker. Now, this 5th worker can't ever have any seals, but obviously there are, things you can do when you don't have seals that are still valuable. This objective is not stellar, but, we can figure something out. We can figure something out for you to do. All right. I'm pretty happy with the way that went overall. Okay, Alfred places stamps. Makes sense to me. He's a spiteful dude. All right, we have 2 coins, which, thanks to our objective here, is enough for us to place on a played diary. Also, you know, it hurts a lot less to play the just go get 3 coins action when you have a 5th guy whose action selection is kind of limited anyway. But maybe this is a good moment to go and, like... Honestly, nothing's particularly contentious right now because Alfred has taken all of the valuable actions. So maybe this is a good time to spend our no-seal dude to just go make a little bit of money to give us some options, right? I don't hate that. Do I want to grab an objective and 2 coins, or do I just want to grab 3 coins? I mean, I really don't think this is very good. Placing 2 lens tokens is going to... Replacing an extra lens token from where we're at now is going to necessitate the spending of a bunch of money. And then, you know, after that, we have to find a way to get back up to 10. But objective tiles are a resource, you know. It is nice to have them so that you give yourself an option later for if you can manage to get them accomplished somehow. And of course, we do also have this guy. Taking an objective that we don't necessarily believe will fulfill before the end of the game is not horrible. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the objective. Take 1 less coin. We'll just throw this into one of the reserved locations. All right, Alfred is gonna place his last character. He's going to gain himself 6 points, you know, for all his hard work. Okay, and then we have 2 workers left, and Alfred gets no more say. And we can place both of these workers into actual journals, or into diaries that already have stuff going on in them if we want. Although, that's not true necessarily if we want to go get seals, which I do. I would very much like this worker to be a get seals worker. But if that's the case, we're pretty broke. Although, if I were to place stamps... Oh, I think I like that a bunch, actually. Let's go ahead and place stamps. We'll pull 2 stamps from this stack and probably just take the majority up here, right? That lets us move our worker over to gain 5 money. And then that means that I can use this worker. Oh, no, I'm good with that. Yeah, thank you. That means I can use this worker to go get a seal. So what I would really like to do here is grab the red seal and put it there. But gosh, that's expensive. Maybe we'd be better off waiting on that until next turn. Because I could, for just 2 money, like put down a 3rd green seal on this fella, and that seems pretty sensible. I think this is our most important crew card, or it's this one. I'm not necessarily opposed actually to putting down a green seal on this row. Give us a little bit more versatility. And then these red seals will drift upward and we'll be able to get access to them much cheaper next turn. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take the green seal, I'm gonna put it here. And I'm gonna do a terrible job getting distinctions for our workers, which sucks. Maybe a concern to have later. All right, so Alfred gets to have all the money in the world. We get either 2 ship movements or a walk and a ship movement. Oh, well, actually, A walk lets us place the red seal without cost. That's interesting. Gets us a lot of money too. But we're not getting very many points for these flower specimens. I think I'm going to do that, actually. I'm going to take the Explorer steps forward 1 space. So we pay a coin to place a tent. That tent will earn us 2 coins when it's removed from the board. And then we get to select a wax seal at no cost and throw it on our personal board. Well, sorry, actually it would be this seal, right? Because this one will slide up into the 1 slot, and we might just double red that guy. Yeah, I think that's actually the way to do that. Okay. Yep, Alfred moves up. We get to move all the way to here. Incredible. Alfred gets 12 points. We get 1. Because we didn't take a second flower. So we got 6 points and then had 5 points of penalties. But heading into round 4 here, we do have 5 workers. Something to be said for that. And if Alfred doesn't place a lens right away, I think we're in like pretty good shape. Okay. That's annoying. I don't like that. So what we might want to do here is lens the red action. We can, I really wish he hadn't done that. I really wish he had played over here instead. What an asshole. Because we're just about to unlock the ability to do this. Well, that does reduce the intensity of the need. But we can take our no seals actor, place him down here. Yep, the scoring objective for this turn is lenses. So that's, that helps us with that. And we could just complete a crew card. Just teleport up to the Beagle now. That would immediately drop both of our other explorers. That's actually like pretty good, huh? Maybe that's exactly the thing. Let's put you down here. Because this lets us place 2 seals. We have a fair amount of money right now. So if we were going to finish, it would be a blue and a green to move you forward. So one of the seals gets placed with a 3 coin discount. That's this going there. And then we pay 2 to put the green up. That gets us a silver distinction, 3 points, the teleport. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so first, I guess it doesn't really matter what order we do this in. First we put the green on. Then we put the blue on. And then we sail the ship irresponsibly quickly forward to there, placing both of our explorers. Cool. All right. Man plays our fancy action. Yep, he gets to put down a lot of stamps. That's pretty fun. All right, so he's about to move a bunch of spaces forward on the book track. That aside, there hasn't actually been that much movement on the book track from him this game, and maybe this is a game where we do a lot more book stuff. So maybe this is a game where we can actually outscore him on the museum track. Is kind of what I'm thinking. So we could play for free, it is worth noting, the green spaces. Where would we most want to land? If we're thinking we're going to come out ahead on book, and delivering this red specimen is a pretty good way to give us some distance on him. The red specimen does complete a rel and thus drive up the value of the museum. plus it gets us a couple of points for moving forward. I actually think that's pretty good. And then that gives us... I don't think we want to use our distinction worker for that, because with only one green seal, yeah, we could only play that one space anyway. What am I going to end up using you for? I don't know. I guess it depends on like where we end up with the coins. But if we were to use him to play this action, we would only get to move 3 spaces, and we can already move 3 spaces and save the silver distinction for later, potentially. So I think I am going to use this guy, and I think I am going to play this space, even though it's nice when the enemy gives us coins, just because letting him take an extra space of a walk always hurts. But I think we only want to move 2 spaces because I think we want to land here. That is a pretty good specimen, in my opinion. And then it would actually be really cool if we could get another one. Okay, plays yellow, stays dominant in the books, gets his little move up the track. That's fine. We will surpass him tremendously if we deliver this specimen. But of course, what we would prefer to do is end up with another specimen. So if we got, say, the bird, if we did another step forward, then I would be able to like deliver bird to this space, making 3 coins for doing so, and then spend those 3 coins to deliver this guy as well. And in the process, we would additionally make 9 total book spaces, putting us on 20, which gives us a decent lead. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking maybe that's the move. So, okay. Next question. How do we want to make 2 spaces of movement happen? We have 3 different workers that can be placed onto this tile. I still think probably big guy's the wrong move. We don't get any benefit from the extra space, right? I would love to actually play the blue action with our worker of extra distinction, because even without playing one of the better lenses, the extra movement gets him to that space. So let's plan on... I don't know. I guess you? I don't know that it matters. Because I'm thinking the next action we take might end up having to be get 2 coins, right? 2 coins in an objective. And it would be... I don't know if it matters if it's silver or not. So like have 2 yellow seals and a blue specimen is something that's accomplished instantly. We could take that and just slap it down somewhere. We could take a free seal with it. Would actually be pretty rad. Then we could have the gold distinction. Or we could work toward turning in another one of these crew cards, but honestly, I think maybe just like getting the gold distinction is the thing. Although, if we flip this lady over, we do get the gold distinction off of that instead. That's not terrible. And then we could have 2. Ooh, I like that. The more I look at that, the more I like that. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I think let's maybe like take an objective now. Because we wouldn't use the gold distinction on this guy if we picked it up this turn, would we? If I'm thinking of using him to move the boat forward, we probably, yeah, there's no extra space to take the advantage of. So Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting all distracted. I am going to take an objective now before the objectives get messed with. Because the other plays we have here, just like move forward 2 spaces and move forward. Oh, well, shoot. I guess some of it comes down to whether or not Alfred picks up the specimen, right? Oh, well, no, he'll be out of workers. If he picks up the specimen, he wouldn't be able to drop it off anyway. If instead of taking a free seal, we took play 2 stamps, we could get ourselves a worker move, which would allow us to collect another specimen on the 3rd island. Maybe that's right. All right, I'm going to use you to get an objective. We're going to take this objective that we already have completed, put it in our reserve, and then be like, oh my gosh, it's already completed. We're going to place it here to gain the effect of this tent, where we will take these 2 stamps and put them here, I think. Even though we're definitely never going to be in charge here, what this does is it guarantees us the ability to take the 2nd place action, both this turn and next turn. And I think that's just moving a person forward is valuable enough 2 times in a row. Okay, so that's the first time we've seen that, I think. His action card, he wasn't able to take either of the top actions, so he rested. When he rests, he just puts the worker here on the middle of his board, gets 7 coins, moves his thing 2 spaces forward on the track. What an annoying set of actions. Okay, so we have 2 plays left. One thing we're certainly going to do is move forward 2 spaces. This guy, 1, 2, gaining 3 points and what looks like the dodo specimen. And then I'm a little unsure what I want to do next, but we can use the big guy to do it. There's no reason not to do it this way. All right, so we take that, move you forward to here. Okay. I like that an awful lot. Now, Alfred doesn't have any specimens that we to deliver. So there's not really a good reason for us to take the delivery action now, I guess. The thing that makes sense to me for the moment is just to move our boat up to a spot where another 3-point boat move either catches us up with the beagle again, thus effectively gaining us 5 points, or lets us drop this tent, which gains us 5 points and also does more stuff. Yeah, so it's got to be the case that the right play is this, right? We pay 2 coins to gain 3 coins and 2 book spaces. We have 5 total actions remaining. All right, correspondence rewards, a little bit of money. Yep. He could deliver on that, and it doesn't affect us at all. Actually, it's kind of good if he delivers on that if we think we're going to be ahead on the book track, although that delivery does put him several spaces forward, obviously. Okay, so we can move our boat forward 1 or move our explorer forward 1. It definitely makes more sense to move the explorer. But which explorer? 3 points, pretty unexciting. 3 coins and an objective, or 4 coins. Or we could sample that same specimen and just try to beat him to the punch, which I think I do like an awful lot. Yeah. Oh, right. No, I don't get to stop on there. So it'd be 3 points and this, or it would be 2 stamps, which is our last 2 stamps. And it puts us ahead on this final island, which has some value. So if I took the 2 stamps, we could place them here and just get immediate boat movement. I actually really like that. We're going to go 1 step forward, allowing us to take our final 2 stamps, get some guaranteed boat movement, and we're processing this stage of the turn right now. So we're about to process that. And that lets us, move the boat up a little bit. So we're likely to get into this bit at the end of the boat track where you're just like getting points with every movement. That's pretty rad. But for right now, I'm just going to move us to here and stop. Obviously with the movement from this. Because moving this stamp gets us some more, or this tent gets us some more movement. And then the tent itself is worth 5 points and some more movement. So let's talk about this 2-space worker move. We can grab a seal for free. We can grab that specimen. Does that specimen complete a row? It does. It completes a row in a column where there's a lot of coins left. That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, I think that is pretty cool. So that's going to be... We're going to take a 1-point move here. And then that's from the bonus from placing the tent. And then we still have the 2-point move from the spot we put the tent down on. And I think I'm looking at jumping all the way up to here. Because if we really want to get ahead on the book track... I'm a little bummed out that he got this, actually. That really does suck. Oof. And his final objective card has book track movement as well. Yeah, no, that's really, really a bummer. Okay, if I didn't move you... We could get 5 points and a temporary knowledge token. A temporary knowledge token would allow me to take this action with my middle worker if he doesn't lead that way. And that would be kind of cool. We would get to do something of significant value for sure. Plus, it is 5 points. The other actions are like get a free seal, which is good. Get some, I mean, book track matters too. Also, there's something to be said for like taking the gold objective and just like playing it on the 8-point space. Sorry, y'all. I don't mean to be so indecisive. It's just there are a lot of factors here. So he's going to make this delivery at some point. We can't stop that. When he does, he's going to gain 5 or 6 books. So he's going to end up on 25 or 26 just from that. He's also definitely, his worker's only 3 spaces away from this reward, which is about to become 4 books. So we have to expect he's going to end up here, like 29 to 30 at least. We need to make our way all the way up to space 32 to have more book scoring than he does. Well, I guess we can get this +1 multiplier spot with this thing, right? So maybe we can beat him on 28. When we make our delivery, if we make it here and there, we're going to end up with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that'll take us to 23. So we need 5 spaces or 9 spaces to like really be definitively ahead. Which could be a second delivery. It's not the worst thing ever. The funny thing is, if I'm looking at trying to make all that extra space, the play is probably is second delivery. And the way to set up the second delivery is probably to move this guy forward so that we can get that flower. So I think what we're going to do is take this action, get the seal. I'm thinking a green seal onto you, maybe? Our last scoring objective is yellow seals. But we can get a yellow seal for free onto the 5th slot. Yeah, like let's take one of these right now. Put it on here to give us two workers with the silver distinction, and then try to make it to there for something. I don't know what. That makes more sense than trying to complete this guy, right? Probably. I'm going to say it does. Let's say it does. Let's just say it does and move on here. Sorry, that was like a really long time to do math for how do I move 2 spaces. I would not take a turn that was that long in a multiplayer game. All right, Alfred makes his delivery immediately, preventing us from stealing it, which is something I might have tried to do if we could have figured out a way. So good on him. It also means that he did not play a book. And that strongly incentivizes us to play book. And I think I just want to grab this space, right? And then we have 2 different... We play delivery with 2 of our remaining workers to put us ahead. It's not bad. And we can like guarantee that we're in position to do it, which is really nice. It's not going to leave me a lot of money. But it will leave us in a great position to take objectives that we're already done with. Yeah, okay. I think that makes sense. And I think it's going to be you because like you're the least interesting worker. And once again, we play the 3 move space even though we only want to move 1 space because we want to deny access to movement. Because movement is so good for the bot. Yep. Okay, that's going to be actually not that bad. So we don't have to take the deliveries right now. He actually... This is the only specimen he's likely to pick up of the ones that we want to deliver. Oh, no, he could... the second island. When he is allowed to move his explorer, does he always move on the rightmost island? Where's the part about how you green action? Exploration. Okay, yeah, he would only move his other explorers if this explorer got all the way to the end. So this guy will, the only specimen he's going to pick up is this one. And if he does that, we can just smash the deliver button right then and there. So two of our workers designated for delivering things to the museum will completely finish the museum. So if I'm ahead of him even a single multiplier, that's positive points. That's like, yeah, we need to catch up at the very least at this point. There's a lot of what do you call it here? Space between us. I had a word for it and now it's gone from my brain forever. So that's sad. I was using that brain once upon a time. I think let's grab an objective. Let's grab an objective and slam down the points. So best thing to do with a gold objective would be to play here. Best thing to do with a silver objective then would be to play it here. Right, because playing here is 2 plus 1 book multiplier. 1 book multiplier is never more than 6 points. So if we're playing an 8-point thing here, then that makes this space worth 9. So let's send, and if I'm sending someone to get an objective, then I'm sending the guy with no skills. The main diaries are already contentious. I no longer value either of these actions enough to play them. I can't play them anyway. This is right. I think this is right. So, I believe I just want to grab this. We have both of these already finished. Yeah, I have 2 specimens and we definitely have 2 tents out. So, let me just grab this, put it down. We could take a purple seal and finish you right now. But if I did that, all I would be doing with it is like grabbing another seal or something. There's no way, I don't think there's any way that's better than 8 points. Okay. Especially since that 8 points is then enabling a 9-point play. All right, man takes some wax seals, which is a shame because it's, you know, there's a lot of points at the end of that board. We're behind by like 50 right now. I don't like where we're at on that one. So, what is the action we are taking that isn't deliver stuff to the museum? Moving the workers moving the worker pawn forward is like pretty valuable. Taking an objective token is also, or taking an objective tile is also very valuable. And I guess I'm not going to make the most money from these deliveries, and I need to have 6 coins available for the double deliveries. We'll make nothing when we put the red guy in. We'll make 2 coins and then 1 coin from our green deliveries. So we're going to make 3 coins total from our green deliveries, which I guess is enough. That's enough to get us where we're going. But yeah, this play is worth 9 points. We're not going to get to 10 coins on hand. That's just not happening. The funny thing is we're actually really close too, because when we take this first action, we're going to gain 2 coins. So if we get 2 coins and take this objective and score it, we will be only a single coin short of accomplishing this sort of incidentally in the middle of the action. Gosh, is there a way to gain money from any of this other stuff? Like, None of our explorers are in a spot where they could suddenly gain us a bunch of cash. No, they're not. Shoot. Well, yeah, I don't think there's any way to accomplish this objective. I was thinking if we could accomplish this objective by taking some money, then we don't need to go get another objective tile, but I think we do, in fact, have to go get another objective tile, which means we don't end up using the distinctions on these workers at all, I'm pretty sure, which is kind of sad. But I just take this and place it into the get points space. If only we had another lens out for him to play on so that he would give us a coin and complete this for us. Oh well. And now it's time to take all of these incredibly trained workers and have them just cart discoveries back to the museum. What a sad time. That's going to get us to 9, sadly, and then we pay 3 to do this. Okay. And then with my final worker, I just do it again because it's got to be right? Like, we gain so much book from this. Look at all the book. We actually do get to the end of the chart from all that book, you know? All right, Alfred gets some coins as correspondence rewards. He does get to move his explorer up to there, which is points and a thing. So we are moving something once, and then we're also moving the ship forward once. So, I mean, it's got to be move this explorer forward 1 space, right? That's 5 points. Yeah, there's not an objective tile to get anymore. I guess if I had thought about it, I was going to do that, so I didn't need this, so I could have gained 3. Yeah, we screwed up. I should have, remarkably, I should have played this guy for 3 coins to flip this, and then we were going to get the objective tile for free anyway. So we would have had 2 more points plus another book multiplier. So if I had played that well, we would have had 8 more points. Keep that in mind when we see how much we lost by at the end of the game. All right, Alfred moves his ship. He gets to do that, which is super annoying. Yep, he gets to just gain 15,000 points at the end of the game for free. Must be nice. We move our ship across the line, gaining 5 points, in effect. 20 points for you, 8 points for me. Woo. But then I did get something. Okay, look at that. Absolutely brutal. 219 for Alfred. Had I scored 8 additional points, we're still in bad shape. It's no good. Oof. I will point out that 173 is like a pretty good score relative to what I've scored in the past. I think it's not like we did a horrible job there. And we did manage to outscore Alfred by 2 multipliers on the museum. So we were net 12 up on the museum. But gosh, it's just a lot to get over 219. And even with me like trying to hold him down as best we could on the exploration, which is like a very high value area for him, he still managed to he still managed to really do some damage. 219 is tough. This is he was a single arrow away from scoring another 15 points as well. Yeah, that's really rough. I didn't manage to run out either my tents or... Well, no, we ran out our stamps. We didn't manage to run out our tents, and there's some valuable stuff at the end of the tents. We didn't manage to place very many tents toward the end of the game. We got this one, but you know, these are high value for sure. We would have gotten a lot of extra use out of like a little bit more worker movement or a little bit more boat movement. Instead of using this other worker to gain 8 points, well, we would have needed the coins. I'm not going to try to unravel that last round and like what we could have done with the worker that we didn't need to gain the objective with. It's very difficult for me to imagine that we could have possibly closed this gap, though. You know? Well, rough. Just absolutely rough. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. My hope was that, you know, a couple episodes in, we would get a win and then turn the AI's difficulty up and try again to make the improvement. It's looking grim for that hope at this point. When you come back next time, though, we are going to try against Blue Alfred once again. We have a sense now, a little bit of a sense of how he works, and hopefully we'll be able to put that into how to play against him. But this game did not give me a lot of hope as far as like baffling his mechanisms goes. It seems pretty hard to prevent him from getting done the things he wants to get done. Come back next time to see if we can, I suppose. And we'll see you then.